What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Italian Stallion, getting ready for another episode of Rebels with a Cause. Got to throw up that W. You know what that W stands for. It's not only for West, how we run this thing, it's about championships, trophy hunters, banner hunters. It's Rebels with a Cause because remember, baby, the cause don't stop when the clock hits zero. We're going to have a great show for you tonight. You know what time it is. It's 9 o'clock. Got a little bit started late. Want to give a shout out to our guys, the stat man himself, Mr. Shane O'Mac, feeling a little under the weather. Going to miss this week, but I know for a fact he will be on next week. And I have a special announcement. Not even Two Pair knows about this yet and so forth. I'm about to bring him on because we're going to entertain you all for the next hour or so. Talk about a lot of things in the sports world, what's going on. Um, but got an announcement. I want to see if I can get some guys together because, it's going to be the dead period. As you can see, it's the dog days of summer. It is hot as you know what outside. Hope you're enjoying that pool or that hose or that fire hydrant, whatever you can to stay cool because it is blistering out there. But the truth of the matter is everybody's working hard in it, no matter early in the morning, in the middle of the day, in the afternoon. You just got to get through it and push through, baby. Be a rebel with a cause to get through all that. Wanted to also just talk about that show when Two Pair comes on and so forth, because I would like to get some old rebels on here and we can have that panel discussion as we get through these boring days of summer, getting closer and closer to August when we'll have those scrimmages, when the football season will be right here, ready to go, But we'll get into that a little bit later and get everybody hyped up and hopefully get some people to bring their opinions and so forth. I'm sure that chat box will be hot that night, determining which teams were the best in West High history. But without further ado, I want to hear you, Marble City. I want to hear what's going on 3300 Sutherland Avenue. I want to hear everybody getting loud and proud. Remember, and most importantly, I should have done this right at the beginning, but I'm so excited to talk to you all that we just got to get this out of the way, that the views and opinions of this program are not affiliated with those of any other organization or of West High School. These are simply the opinions of myself, the Italian Stallion, Two Pair Tate, Brian Tate, and the stat man himself, Mr. Shane O'Mac, Shane McGee. But that being said, the RWAC crew wants to give a shout out real quick to our guy, Mr. Alex Thatcher, a 2003 grad, Mr. West type of dude. He wasn't the Mr. West. That was Mr. Two Pair Tape, but he is a grad of West High School. He brews that brew down there at the Knoxville Coffee Company there in the heart of Marble City and Sutherland Avenue. So definitely give him a check and enjoy that brew. It's good any time of the day. And also my gal, Miss Kim Castle, King's Chamber there on Washington Pike. We'll definitely get you fixed up, facials, beard trims, waxes. Going to get that pedicure and manicure thing rolling here very, very soon. So definitely give her a shout and give her a call and get on the books for her, getting very close to that opening that she's shooting for. But want everybody to get loud and proud, whether you're watching live or recorded, wherever you're, to give some respect to my co-host, my brother. He is the Mr. 2003 West. He is the voice of the Rebels and Lady Rebels for the past 18 plus years. And I'm sure he's looking forward to another season of that coming up. And most importantly, he's the hardest working guy I know. You give him a mic, he will make you smile and really entertain, just like he does every week for you guys that watch this show. He is a rebel with a cause. He is my brother, the one, the only Two Pair Tate. Brian Tate, what is up?
Man, what's going on, man? How you doing, brethren? Brethren,
Oh
brethren,
man,
brethren,
I
brethren,
am
brethren, brethren.
I am excited because this is my favorite time of the week. I get to spend time with you. I get to spend time with our audience, whether they're watching live or recorded, and they can
Mhm.
also chime in with their thoughts as we talk about what we love to talk about, which is sports. Honestly,
Yeah,
so it's really, really awesome and so forth.
yeah,
So,
man. It definitely is, man. It's really enjoyable every episode. Just really, being able to connect with so many former players too. That's what I've also enjoyed, man. Like our first few episodes where we got a lot of interviews and just seeing how the channel has been growing then like the players that watch it too. It's really awesome, man, and it's a great time for sports right now.
It is.
Like
It
it is
is.
a great time for sports. Like people think because there's no football going on, you had the UFL championship, you had some type of football. You know what I mean? You got schedule releases that have came out. It's been
Games on
really
TV.
enjoyable, man. The
Yeah, the
games on
games on
TV,
TV.
like
Yep.
people are now watching the WNBA. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
but we've lost three legends in a matter of weeks though.
We
Like
have.
names that we grew up with, we've lost them in just a matter of weeks. It was Bill Walton, then it was Jerry West, and then you told me today. I didn't even
Yep.
know about this.
I'm gonna put this up right now. It was officially announced. 93 years old. God rest his soul. Rest in peace, Willie Mays. Played for the Chicago Cubs. Is a
Hmm.
Major League Baseball Hall of Famer. Really,
San
really.
Francisco Giants.
Oh, was it the That's right, it was the
San
Giants,
Francisco
that's right,
Giants.
it
San
was the
Francisco
Giants, that's right.
Giants.
Yeah, I was thinking of Ernie Banks
Ernie
played for the
Banks.
Cubs,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
But, what a true pioneer, for African American ball players, in
Yeah,
that
man.
time and so forth,
He
he
was a
played in
hero.
that time,
Like,
he was a hero, and on the cusp of Juneteenth, which is really
right.
interesting, like, that's, very everything happens for a reason, you know what I mean, type of a thing.
Right.
And for him to pass away on the eve of Juneteenth, and he
Yeah.
was one of those heroes. I know it's not Black History Month, but it's also, one of those things where he was a pioneer for many young African American kids
Absolutely.
to play
Absolutely.
baseball, and even white kids as well, that maybe grew up in a poverty, background and so forth, and really made something of themselves playing a game for fun. You know what I mean?
Right.
Type of thing.
Right.
And he was a hell of a hitter. He was right
Hmm.
there behind Hank Aaron and Babe Ruth as one of the highest home run hitters of all time
Of
with
all
over
time.
600
Yeah.
600 dingers he hit. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I know his godson, Barry Bonds, is probably taking this pretty tough. Like, it's been like a father to him since his father, Bobby Bonds, passed.
Yeah.
So it just, man, it's really tough to think
It-
about. Like Willie Mays, like you think about the great catches, you think about the hitting, you think about if there's no Willie Mays, there's no Barry Bonds, there's no Ken Griffey's. Like he led to all those guys of that era. You know what I mean? Like the the Vladimir Guerrero's, like he's he's because of the great Willie Mays, man. Like God rest his soul.
yeah, God rest his soul is right. And it's funny you bring that up too, in regards to the fact that not just a baseball player, but also did a lot of work off the field as well, with
Yeah.
charities and things like
Hmm.
that. And we lost a good one today. And it's just sad as we get older, because you don't really think of it in those terms, but everybody passes, it's just about
Hmm.
when it happens. And we really have lost three legends, two in basketball and now one in baseball, and I know it
Yeah.
happens all the time, and it happens eventually, but it still stings when it happens. It's like, oh shoot. And then think about all the wrestlers that we've lost over the years too, like it's just whether they were premature or not,
Bray
so
Wyatt is the one that hits home when you talk about that. Like I just think about what Bray could have been, and just when you told me that Willie Mays had passed, I'm like, wow, we just lost Jerry West, we just lost Bill Walton. We're losing a lot of the greats. It was like I was looking up Jim Brown highlights. Like Jim Brown is no longer here with us.
that's right. The great Jim Brown. Yes. Yep. Yeah. I mean, we've lost a lot. We've lost a lot of guys, and I'm sure we'll lose more, unfortunately, because that's how it goes. But
Hmm.
realistically, glad that at least it we could at least acknowledge him on the show, because it always seemed like these things happened after we talked about somebody, and then it was like
Yeah,
a week later we were talking about it. But to find out now was a big deal and so forth. So yeah.
yeah, that was, man. Like he just a tremendous athlete, but more of an incredible person when you think about Willie Mays of just what he stood for. You know what I mean? And the character of one Willie Mays. It's just really sad, man. Like
It is.
we're losing like a lot of our heroes.
Yeah.
We're losing a lot of our heroes.
Yeah, and Hall of Famers, and books have been written about them even when they were alive, not even after they passed and so forth. So, but yeah, yeah.
Like I say all the time that Jerry West book
That
uh
changed your life, you said, right? Like, I mean,
changed my life in 2018.
yeah.
Like that was an eye-opening experience of what someone driven to a goal, someone fighting depression and anxiety, going through life, and is considered such a high character figure when dealing with internal demons of his brother being killed. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a lot, man. Like Jerry West is a very like it's a very great book. Very
hmm
great book.
That's awesome, man. And I'm glad that it touched you. There's always books or movies that can touch us in a way and really help us, maybe guide us on a path that maybe it's not really taken sometimes, and maybe gives us some
Actually,
answers that we're searching for too.
actually, give me 1 second. I'll show it to you. I
Yeah,
think
I'd
I
love to
have it
see
right
it.
here.
No, I'd love to see it. So yeah, well, two pairs getting that. I want to give a few shout outs. People that watch the show. Shout out to Chris Smith, the stats guy for the West Rebels now for so many years now, and shout out to Trey Cinco, Chris Smith Jr. Shout out to Mr. Kerry Reeves, my boy, my guy that runs the scoreboard. Shout out to Larry Frank and Devin Lloyd, my brothers over at Utah that got me to get this show started. Shout out to my Rebel brothers getting ready for this football season. Parker Dubon, Wyatt DeRoche, Elijah Garner. Just want to give a shout out to Mr. Jack Keith, JP Peace. I see you, boy. I see you showing out. Look at that. West by West. My charmed, tormented life. Jerry
Yeah,
West, Jerry West,
it's
West by
a
West, my charmed,
very
tormented life. So,
when I say this book is a very powerful book, man. Like it is a powerful read. Um, it I really like read this. This is like a very good book, man. Like some of the stuff, my favorite stuff is like when an athlete's career is over, perhaps the hardest thing to get used to is the dimming of the lights, the deathly silence in the arena. More than anything, I played for the fans, not just in Los Angeles, but wherever they might be.
that's
It's
powerful.
powerful,
That
bro.
is.
That's
And,
powerful.
and
It's
it's like I
powerful.
talked about, does that cause stop when the clock hits zero? I say it doesn't. I mean, yes,
Mm,
you're not going to have the fame and all the screaming fans, thousands of people cheering you
right.
on, millions watching at home. But realistically, you still under a scope. People are watching you,
Yeah.
especially these days now with everybody
Oh
being a
man.
little social media person. I mean, that's just how it goes. So, yeah, but
Mm,
we were giving some shout outs, man. I know some guys are working really, really hard, out there. A JP Peace, I see you. And he even got a shout out from Ryan Scott and a couple of other guys. He about to blow out and show up this season, Philip Fulmer's
yeah.
grandson. So, I mean, he
I
was
like
killing it at a camp this week. So, this past weekend. So, yeah.
Yeah, I like what I've been hearing from Peace. I like what I've been seeing from Elijah Gardner. I think Elijah may be he's going to as many camps as possible. Like the eyes are just going to be on this kid, man.
Yeah, and
Like
he's making some throws that I was just like, "Yo," I mean,
yeah,
I'm telling you, it's going to be very interesting this when summer camp starts and everything. I really believe that, but the thing is, two pair. they are entering the dead period these next 2 weeks. They're finishing up.
Mm-hmm.
They got a rest day tomorrow. They've got Thursday, or sorry, they've got Thursday, then they've got Friday, and then the dead period begins. There's no contact
Mm-hmm.
with coaches. People. This is the time when people in all the sports really take those vacations, and then what's crazy is I was looking at the calendar and I was thinking to myself, I said, what can we do these next couple of weeks? Because realistically, there's not going to be a hire made with basketball during these 2 weeks because this is when administration and everybody's really allowed to take their vacations. Summer school ends next week. So those teachers and everybody that were doing summer school, that ends and so forth. So
But
realistically, there's only a month left before
mhm,
you get into the whole thing. So yeah, but
I will say this though, West basketball they have been impressive this summer. Like they really they have really been impressive this summer. Not gonna lie to you, but
yeah,
football, they're really hitting these weight like they're getting it. Like that workout program right after the spring practice is phenomenal. Like they look really, really in shape right now.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm glad to hear it. And like I said, with football, just because it is the dead period, this is when you need to put the work in yourself. Still, even if nobody is going away, and maybe some of the other guys aren't going away. Doesn't mean you guys can't do stuff together. Work on the timing. Keep up the regimen, even though you don't have access to the weight room. Just do what you can at home, or maybe you have a gym yourself that you go to. Just keep up the regimen. Definitely keep up the conditioning. Stay hydrated. This is the most important time because when you get back from the dead period, I really believe too, Perry, and I feel like it gets earlier and earlier compared to when we played, is that I think they maybe have maybe a week or two of weights left, and then it's football camp because technically, you've got those scrimmages. You've also got the actual camp that goes on and so forth,
Hmm.
and school literally starts the first week of August. I remember that we really didn't go back until like the second or maybe even the third week of August back in the day and so forth. So
Hmm.
things have changed in that regard, but it is what it is. But truth be told, uh, these guys have a lot in front of them, and there's a quest at hand. There is a quest for literally a third state championship, and it's there for the taking. And everybody needs to put the work in, from freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. Your number can be called, and the coaches are going to be what they're doing. The fans and the parents are going to be there. It's what you do on the field, and just know we've got your back. Simple as that, because it's always about this W, baby. That's what it's all
That's
about.
it.
And
That's
keep it
it.
going, man. Keep this thing rolling. Don't stop. So yeah. But shout out to them, and I hope that they have a great break. And next week, I'm going to try to get some guys together and maybe have a fun panel with maybe 4 or 5 of us on here, talking about the greatest West teams ever. And what I'm going to do over the next week is I'm going to compile the stats of what I have based on the numbers. What was the offensive scoring output? What was the records? What was the schedule? What was the defensive points allowed, some of the stars that were on those teams. And I will be emailing the panel all of that information, and you guys can rank the teams based off of that. And then what we'll do is we'll actually share, we'll agree to disagree, who is the best West team of all time. Especially these last two will definitely be high on that list, not just because they were state champions, but the stats will tell it to you. Schedule will also be in play as well. So, and how far you got, and just what your impact was on the program too. It might not just be championships, but what your impact on the program and the direction it's in now will also be a factor in those in those rankings. So I'm hoping we have a good turnout for that, and we just kind of go from there. So, Two-Pair, I do want to pass it over to you, man, because we had, I guess, the NBA Finals, and I guess that was the NBA Finals. After such an exciting playoffs, exciting regular season,
Oh
some new
man.
concepts of an early season tournament, trades galore, players
Mm,
really redeeming themselves, players kind of taking that next level to really establishing their brand. The NBA
yeah.
Finals ended after 5 games,
I
and I'm
mean,
going to hand
really
that over
quick.
to you to talk. So,
Yeah, man. I I told everybody that Boston was. I mean, it was Boston's championship to lose.
yeah.
Just the way Jalen Brown had been performing with Tatum, with Porzingis, even just having Porzingis for a little bit. You know, hell, he missed half of the playoffs and still gave you something. Still gave you something. That first
Yeah.
game was incredible.
Yes, it
And just
was.
think if he did, and with him going down with the injury, he'll be back right after Christmas. So the way this team played with Derek White, Drew Holiday, that is probably the best pickup. You get a guy like Al Horford who's still there in year like 18, 30, 38 years old, giving it
Hmm.
everything he's got because now he can say he won two in college and one in the pros.
Hmm.
Like that builds on his Hall of Fame resume.
Absolutely.
Um, One thing I will say is Luca, phenomenal basketball player,
Hmm.
but you cost him in game three.
Yeah.
Game three, you got to know where the fouls are, all that. Like, this wasn't the best Kyrie we saw.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But it's a Kyrie that is poised because I feel like you got to go through that. If you go through it, look at this Boston team. As young as they were to get to the finals the first time and get humbled by the Warriors. They gave the Warriors 6 games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's with that team. And this team is a completely shift from that.
Yes. Yep.
You know what I mean? And I think you get a guy like Drew, what a pickup was Drew
Oh my
Holiday.
God. I mean, how did that happen? Like, I know we
How
talked a
does
little
this
bit a couple of
happen?
weeks ago with Shane, and we were talking about how it went down, but only the Hornets would be involved, or the Wizards. It was one of those two terrible teams
Oh
was
no, it was the
involved.
Blazers.
It was the
Blazers won.
Blazers. So, but
Blazers.
but literally, how that
Blazers.
happened, the rich got richer is what happened there. With a team already
Mm.
stacked with the likes of Jalen Brown, who was the NBA Finals MVP.
How funny is this?
Yeah.
How funny is this? Do you remember Drew Holiday played for the Sixers?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember Drew Holiday played for the Bucks?
Yes.
How does Drew Holiday have more titles than Giannis?
It's called being at the right place at the right time, brother. That's what that is.
Brother,
So, yeah.
like
Wow.
it just amazes me. Like this dude has went through like the wife getting the benign tumor in the eye.
Hmm.
Then he has to sit out for a while with the Pelicans. Then comes back. Then has to sit out for the bubble. Then gets to Milwaukee, wins the championship. Then from the championship, you trade him.
Hmm. That's an organization that it's a miracle that they won the one they did, to be honest.
Yes,
Firing coaches,
firing
letting great players go. I mean,
walk
they're a joke. I mean, they're
like
lucky they won one.
exactly. They lucky
Yeah.
they won the one they got
Yeah. And the
because
parting of the sea had to happen for that too, honestly.
because
So,
you
yeah.
see how bad it's gotten for Phoenix.
Hmm.
Put it like this: it's gotten so bad for Phoenix they had to get KD, and then they got swept in the first round.
Hmm. And gave up a bunch of draft picks too. They can't even
Yeah.
like get anybody young in there that's worth anything. To go back to it, to pair, I could not
Mm-hmm.
believe Luca's a phenomenal player. Can't question his offense skill. output, but the defense was pathetic. I mean, they attacked
Oh
and
man.
attacked him, and that's credit to Missoula and his staff. You know, they
Hmm.
found the weaknesses of what they needed to do. I found something very interesting too. On the Boston staff was Emil Jefferson, who used to play at Duke and coach under
Duke.
Duke, under Krzyzewski. He's an assistant now under Missoula. Do you know that he coaches the big men there for the Sixers, but also, or six, I'm sorry, for the Celtics, but
Hmm.
literally he knew the weaknesses of Derek Lively because he coached Derek Lively at Duke that one year when Derek Lively
Hmm.
went. So, literally speaking, I say that Lively was a non-factor in these finals compared to where he was such a
Oh
big,
man.
you know, they neutralized him. They neutralized him, and he really showed he was a rookie. And there's nothing wrong with that. He will keep getting better. Doris Burke said it last night. This Mavericks team's not going anywhere. They've got a lot of young talent. I just think the moment was too big. Now, what I did
Yes, I
want to
do think
say.
the moment was too big. Yes.
Exactly. And what we talked about beforehand was the fact is during those Western Conference playoffs, the Mavericks looked nothing like a fifth seed. They looked like
N-
they were the top seed.
Legit.
Yes.
Legit.
Beat the Clippers, like you said, who
How
a
did
lot of
they
people
look
were
against the
picking.
Clippers?
Yeah, I mean, here the Clippers. It was like this was
Hmm.
supposed to be the year the Clippers maybe made that finals or did something. No, again another first round exit, unbelievable. Then they take out the number one seed OKC and made
Yep.
those guys look very young and ordinary
Th-
after that they were so special throughout the regular season.
it was a 6 game fight.
It
I will
was.
give I
It,
will
it
give them that.
was.
They at
It
least gave
was.
them a fight to say, hey, that we're here.
They did.
Once he got 2-2, then he got 3-2. It was, yeah, Dallas is showing your that was that was grown men basketball.
It was.
It
It
was a little
was.
bit of gamesmanship, but OKC is going to be here for a while.
Oh yeah.
Though
Oh yeah.
that group, they felt that they're going to get better.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And then, Dallas showed to be the road warriors. I talked about that. If you looked at past shows, they were stealing home court and making home court theirs. That's how they wrapped up the series is in Dallas, in each, and then with Minnesota as well. They went on the road to beat Minnesota. And we saw how Minnesota was so good against Denver. I bring that up because when they got to the finals, it was like they looked every bit as the fifth seed, and Boston looked like the juggernaut that they were. And in reality, I felt that it was the Celtics' to lose. Stephen A. Smith brought up the fact that, Kyrie probably played the worst series in his entire career because the city of Boston was in his head. And there might be something to that because Kyrie played absolutely terrible last night, turning
In
the ball
Boston, he
over.
was just
Oh,
not.
he
He
was
wasn't.
horrible.
No Mamba
Horrible.
mentality. No
None.
Mamba mentality at all in
None.
Boston.
None.
I,
And
I hate to say it to Drew. I hate to say it to Uncle Drew because Kyrie is one of the more phenomenal basketball players to have ever touched the basketball.
no doubt.
You know what I mean?
No doubt.
Like at doing what he does on the basketball court, he's phenomenal.
Hmm.
It's like poetry in motion when you watch him play.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome to look at. It is also like he is so incredible, right?
Hmm.
Players are gonna struggle at a time in hostile environments, which he's accustomed to zoning out, locking in, going into that Mamba mentality that he speaks highly of. It just didn't happen in this series
It did
because
not.
there's times where he had open shots.
And
Like he missed his first eight threes of the series,
and he was
and
missing layups too, like or the dimes that he would drop sometimes. So, yeah.
it just wasn't. It wasn't what I expected because even though I had Boston winning, I said it was Boston series to lose. I mean, like, dude, like Tatum and Brown have figured it out.
Hmm.
They have figured it out,
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
and them winning at the age of 26.
And 25. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Because isn't Jalen 1 year younger than Jason or what have you like that? I think they're 1 year apart. So
A
if I'm not
year, like
mistaken.
1 year apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they figured it out. I mean, and that's what I said last week on the show. We were talking about the fact that all the criticism they wanted to get rid of Missoula is Brad Stevens in over his head as general manager, and they gave the middle finger to everybody last night to question that. And that commercial that about Tatum, keep disbelieving. I got chills at the end of that commercial. I mean,
Yo,
yeah,
how crazy is it that it throws a subtle jab at Anthony Edwards in the Believe That campaign with Adidas? You see the Nike
and the
Adidas
Adidas.
games? Yeah,
Yeah, and that
yeah,
that's what makes it fun. That's what makes it
yeah.
competitive. I mean,
Well, the
technically,
Jordan, actually Jordan, because Tatum is a Jordan athlete. My bad.
that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So, and
yeah. This is awesome though, isn't it?
it is
Be-
awesome. It makes it fun. It makes it
yeah,
fun. I mean,
it
West is an
makes it
Adidas
fun.
school. Once upon a time, West has gone from Russell Athletic to
West
Under
needs to
Armour,
be a
and now
Nike
we're an
school.
Adidas. I know, and we're an Adidas school right now.
We're an
So, yay.
Adidas football school.
And we used to be Under Armour. Under the Cottrell years, we were Under Armour back then.
I
So,
I
yeah,
love I love the Under Armour West.
yeah.
Now the Under Armour West was a different type of that was a different type of dude. You
Yeah.
wore that Under Armour. That's in the heydays of good Arian Foster when he was
Mhm.
wearing Under Armour
Hey, do you
and
remember
Julio
the
Jones.
commercial? Do you remember the commercial? "We must protect this house. Will you protect this house?" I mean, it was awesome. That was circa 2003 for
the
all the
early,
rebels
the
that weren't even
early,
born yet,
the
so shoot,
early, the early Under Armour. That's early Under Armour.
I mean, I'm telling you, I again, the series was what it was. Congrats to Boston, congrats to Tatum and
Congrats to
everybody.
yeah,
Yeah, I
like
mean, yeah,
they
Brown,
deserve it though. Like,
they did.
and how about Jalen Brown becoming the Eastern Conference MVP, the Finals MVP, and he
Mhm.
didn't make All NBA.
Just keep disrespecting the guy. Just keep
Just
disrespecting the
keep
guy.
like, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
I felt like they did that because he deserved it. Like
I
there
yeah.
was there was no like. Don't get me wrong. Tatum played well,
Mhm.
but through the bulk of that series,
It was Brown.
it was Brown.
And it
He
was the
Brown
defense. It was the defense, in my opinion. It was the defense of the fact that Kyrie was limited because and I highlighted the clip today,
very
and everybody
limited,
laughed. I highlighted
very
the clip.
limited
I'm gonna say it correctly. A plethora of guards were thrown at him.
plethora,
A
a
plethora.
plethora.
A plethora, and I highlighted it earlier today. People were laughing about it on Facebook, but anyway, but a plethora of guards were thrown at him. But
Bro,
I think the
yeah.
physicality of Jalen Brown was
Mm,
just a lot for Kyrie. Kyrie just there was a lot of physicalness there, and if it wasn't him, it
right.
was Drew Holiday. Even Tatum was guarding him. They were throwing bodies at him, and literally, I think it wore him down. To the point where there was no backups really behind Luca and Kyrie, where Boston had a ton of depth, and it seemed like. And then what about the guy making the half court shot? I think I even messaged
Peyton
you and said,
Pritchard.
"Yeah," and I said, "That's it, it's over. Get the trophy out. Nice season." I mean,
Hey,
it was done. So yeah,
when Peyton Pritchard is shooting from Roxbury, Massachusetts,
hmm
like you knew it was over. Like Peyton Pritchard is hitting shots. You know what I'm saying? Hitting half court heaves.
Shout out to Larry Frank watching the show. Lakers and Sixers should feel like trash. Simmons and Ingram were drafted ahead of both Tatum and Brown. Well, I will say this. I think that the Simmons and Ingram were actually a different draft altogether. That, I believe, was the 2016 draft, if I'm not mistaken. Tatum was the year of 2017, and Brown was 2018, if I'm not mistaken. So I think,
Well, hold on, no, because I get what he's saying.
yeah.
Lakers and Sixers, okay, because the Sixers picked Simmons,
Uh huh.
the Lakers picked Ingram. And if you get, you know what I'm saying, there were two different, they were two, I think one was Tatum's draft class and one was Brown's draft class with the Ingram.
Oh, okay. Because I thought
Or,
Brandon Ingram was the year before Tatum. That's what I
hold
thought.
on, Larry, could, since we don't have our stat guy,
Yeah, we don't have our stat guy. He's under the weather tonight.
yeah,
So yeah.
could you break down the draft or what draft those were? Because I get what you're saying though.
Yeah,
I get
I
it
for
now.
sure thought that Simmons and Ingram were that 2016 because Simmons didn't even play in college, if I remember. He wasn't he
He did.
ineligible at LSU? Oh, he did play at LSU. He
Yeah,
did.
they just didn't go to the tournament.
That's what it was. Okay, so he
They didn't go to
played.
the tournament. Yeah, he
Ingram
played.
played at Duke. Ingram played at Duke, and they were bounced in the Sweet 16 that year, if I'm not mistaken. But they were the 1 and 2 pick in that 16 draft. I want to say I could be wrong,
Okay.
but I want to say. Um, Real quick, I just want to give a shout
Yeah,
out.
because Tatum and Brown are both picked third in the drafts.
Yeah, yeah, and here's the thing: Tatum wasn't it Markel Fultz that was picked before Tatum that draft, and who else was picked
Mm-hmm.
before Tatum in that 2017 draft? I forget who the other guy was because it was Markel Fultz was first, and I forget who was number two, but Tatum was number three in that 2017 and was picked by the Celtics.
Oh,
I
in
mean,
2017, yeah, I
yeah, in
got that now.
2017. So yeah. But you know what? The Lakers and Sixers should feel like trash anyway. Honestly, they should. So yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Yeah.
I
Dude, this
see
hockey
that.
game is getting crazy. Edmonton has 4 goals now, and the Panthers have two. So there is no defense going on right now, but it's looking like the Panthers are blowing an opportunity to close this series out in front of their fans. There's 6:25 left in the second period,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah, I'm
it's not
watching it
looking good
right
for the
now.
Panthers. It is not looking good for my Florida Panthers tonight, unfortunately.
It
So yeah,
is
letting me
not.
down, letting me down. So yeah, but.
It's game five too,
It
man.
is
They got to
game
win
5,
this one.
so yeah. Craziness.
19 shots to 13 shots.
Yeah, and another power play for Edmonton, and Edmonton's been scoring on these, so yeah, they're 2 of 3 tonight, when before they were not doing that well. So it looks like Edmonton has found some weaknesses in Florida's game that they did not have in those first 3 games, and Florida has done nothing to counter it, unfortunately. So, but you know, we'll get to that in a second. Going back to the
Oh, Markel Fultz and Lonzo Ball were drafted ahead of Tatum.
Hey, you ain't a baller unless you wearing big ball brand shoes, baby.
Oh
According to
man.
Lavar, 500
Oh
bucks for them
man.
shoes, 2 pair, five
Oh
hundred
man.
dollars. Let me ask you this: if
That
you still worked back at Foot Locker back in the day, would you have sold that to a West Rebel basketball player? Those ball and brand shoes.
man, no, you would kill your feet, man. It was blowing out city. Blown out city. You seen
uh,
that, man? Them sneakers blew out.
Oh, I stand corrected. 2016 was Simmons and Ingram before Brown, and add Jamal
Yes,
Murray being
yes.
fourth
That's what
overall.
I knew what he. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Because Fultz and Lonzo were ahead of Jason
Wow.
Tatum in
Wow.
2017.
Okay. So that makes sense. No, no. I knew that Larry knew what he was talking about, but they should still feel like trash, though. I mean, both those organizations have spent mega bucks and things have not worked out the way that they've needed to. Honestly, they really haven't. And now it's like, what's the timetable with Embiid with them,
Hmm.
what's going to happen with that? The Lakers are they going to draft LeBron? So, yeah, no, we got it, Larry. No, we're good. No, we are totally good, brother. And always appreciate your contributions, man. We always do.
Absolutely,
We love the chat, man. We got 3 people
but
on here live. Bring it, man. I want to hear what people want to talk about. I mean, these NBA finals stunk, man. They were
they did.
disappointing. I
They
mean, I was bored
stunk,
the other night watching it on TV, even when the Mavericks won that damn first game. So come on. So yeah, but
man. It was very boring to watch.
yeah,
Like
I mean, it was
it
just
just like I'm thinking to myself, if they don't throw away game three, it is gonna be uh it is gonna be a series if that happens. I'm like, they should win.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But also, NBA draft coming up. So now we're ready for the draft because that finals is over with.
And
I
that's
think
next week, isn't it? Isn't that next Wednesday or what have you? The draft or what have you? Or
the 26th. Is the
is that a
draft the
Tuesday?
26th?
What the hell is that? Wait a minute. Wait, I'm trying to think.
The draft is the 26th and the 27th. It's 2 days.
It's 2 days. Okay, gotcha.
I don't know
Okay.
why they're doing 2 days for the
Are
NBA
they trying to
draft. It
like
gets
pick the NFL? Are they trying to like copy the NFL a little bit and prolong this? I mean, usually you can get
it's
it done in one night. I mean, shoot.
yeah, with the NBA draft, it only takes 2 hours. It,
Yeah.
it don't, you
Uh,
know what I'm saying? It's the second round goes by the fastest.
Oh, look at this. I love this guy. My guy, Kerry. Hey, I'm here for the best podcast in town. Also, watching this crazy hockey game going on now. The NBA Finals was trash. That is correct. I've been
Yes,
watching and enjoying the College World Series. We're going to talk about that, Kerry. I'm so glad you brought that
yeah.
up. Love you, brother. I'm dying over here watching this hockey game. I mean, it's just like the Panthers are just killing me
I'm
right now.
watching it as
I mean,
well,
telling you, it's
man.
awful.
Was it?
So,
It's still 4-2.
still 4-2, and they're 4-on-4 in a power play with about 4 or something minutes left in the second period. It's been a crazy game. So if you like scoring, it's not been a defensive battle. So, but yeah, I want to still harp on this NBA thing. I just cannot believe how bad that series. I mean, it wasn't even competitive except for game two. I mean, everything was a blowout, it seemed like. I don't know. I mean, my goodness. And I thought that
Boston just
Dallas
came to
might
play.
be able to maybe hold home court and maybe take it to a game 6 where Boston won it there, but it didn't even get to that, man. And nothing can like listen, shout out to the Mavs that they at least shot the way they did. But let's be
Yeah,
real. I think Boston honed that in and said, look, we can take these guys. We're going to finish it in Boston, give our fans a huge celebration. And it was a magnificent celebration last night. Whether you're a Celtics fan or not, that city was on fire. And inside that arena was nothing but
they're
just
still
destruction.
partying.
Yeah, they're partying.
They're
Absolutely.
still partying.
They're partying like it's St. Patrick's Day, man, honestly. So
Like,
shoot.
dude, they are still partying. You
Yeah,
you can you can hear them partying right now. Like
absolutely.
it is loud as hell out in Boston right now.
Yeah. Let's
Just
see here
with the
what Larry
way,
said. NBA has had 6 different champions in the last 6 years. You know what that means? Yeah. Yeah, there's actually good competition. There really is. In football, it seems like there's some dynasties that have really made marks. I think that there's a
Kansas
lot
City's
better.
the dynasty.
There is dynasty, and
Kansas City's the
realistically,
dynasty.
I almost feel like that basketball. You've got so many great coaches and assistants. I mean, I'm hearing that Van Gundy was even helping the Celtics, and now
As
he's
a
just been
consultant,
hired as a top assistant for the Clippers next year.
Clippers.
So if the
Yeah.
Clippers don't get it done, they ain't never going to get it done. I mean, that is a trash organization, and realistically, I mean, the Lakers are still the kings of Los Angeles despite all these
Hmm.
moves. Also Larry.
Hey, hey
Larry
James, have
Yeah,
you
go ahead.
watched Clip, the story of the Clippers with the debacle of Donald Sterling?
I have not, but I heard it was pretty interesting though. So, because I've got to
Check that
watch that.
out.
So,
Check
yeah,
that out on
I
Hulu
knew they
tonight.
were making it. So, what's it on? Is it on one of the
Hulu.
Amazon, Hulu? Okay,
Hulu.
okay.
You're gonna enjoy it.
I'll have to check
You're
that one out. So,
if you want to go down a trip down memory lane of how just diabolically racist and
oh,
uncomfortable Donald Sterling was, and like, dude, it don't make sense how bad this man was to people, and then the chick that sets him up. Oh man, it's crazy. You gotta watch it.
I'll have to check it out for sure. I mean, he was a grotesque man. I mean, I saw that young babe with him. I mean, ugh, I don't even care if he got money, man. He was grotesque. So, James, the Clippers ain't ever getting it done. Laugh out loud. They are the NBA version of the Cleveland Browns. Yeah, they are.
Wow,
They stink. I mean, so I've never
Clippers,
seen so much talent wasted over the years. Coaches. There's so many things, so many factors. So yeah, but.
Clippers just man, they just shake. You just shake your head at the Clippers, dude. You
Oh
just.
God, yeah,
But one thing that's really intriguing though is how it was the way Boston won.
oh yeah,
Like people are gonna say what they want to say about this championship, but they beat a depleted Miami team.
hmm
Donovan Mitchell goes down in Cleveland. Halliburton goes down in Indiana. So you make it out of the East only losing 2 games.
hmm
You go to the finals where only lose 1 game. They go 16-3 in their playoff run.
yep. I mean,
They can't help who they beat. They beat who they beat.
and
They
the
were
margins
60.
of victory were disgusting at time. I
They
mean,
beat. They went through a regular season where they were 64-18. Like, dude, they won 64 games.
yep.
I don't recall. I don't ever recall them losing in stretches like 7 or 8 games. Like they're not they couldn't do that.
Yeah, yeah. They were the best team all year. They proved it. I just would have loved, selfishly, I would have loved a 7 game series. A competitive 7 game series. But
Mm-hmm.
maybe
Mm-hmm.
next year. Maybe next year with somebody else and so forth. So for sure. So I.
I'm just it just was disappointing. You know what I'm saying? If anything, it was a disappointment.
hmm
And you just didn't expect to I didn't expect I didn't expect for it to be that like that. I thought it was gonna be a finals that we were gonna be talking about because before the finals, all you heard of was this is gonna cement like Luca's legacy. I'm like, that's kind of early to say. I mean, he's
hmm
got an outstanding leg. He's got an outstanding resume right now, but this titles run would have made him look a lot different in some people's eyes. Think of how big the title in Dallas would have been compared to the title in Boston, because it's bigger for those guys right now
hmm
because they are in Celtic lore now. You win one, now the expectations are through the roof for Brown and Tatum. They gotta
hmm
win like 4 now. They gotta find a way to repeat next year. Like they gotta go unscathed.
I tell you this too, Pair. It's very interesting that that was number 18 total. We talk about the West Rebels now have 3 state football titles. You look at 18 NBA championships over their history. And a lot of them were one with the great Bill Russell in that era back then with Red Auerbach and all that and so forth. But my my point is, though, is that Jay Williams brought something up this morning on Greeny's show, where he was talking about the Lakers and the Celtics. Now the Celtics are up 18-17 in terms of titles. If you're going head to head between that,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
those two teams are in like two different parts of the universe right now of the spectrum, if you think about it. And realistically, I don't know how Lakers fans or the Lakers organization will take that lying down. Larry mentioned in his comments that there are reports that Bronny's going to go higher than expected. Um, Realistically, I think that the Lakers really need to have a conversation with themselves and really kind of like Do you want to get superstars? Do you want to build from within? Who is the coach? That's the other thing too. We need to report this, that they swung out on Hurley. They tried to get Hurley, and some people were saying that figure that they offered Hurley, which was a 6-year, $70 million deal, was kind of lowballing it. That's what they said, lowballing it. So,
Mm.
I don't know. I mean, that's all in the eye of the beholder, so to speak. So, but Larry says blame LeBron for watering down the Lakers to a sideshow. I agree with that.
Wow,
So,
yeah,
yep,
yeah.
yep.
Because it gets to a point when you looking at the Lakers that you just like, what in the world am I watching? You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying?
It
It's
ain't no
like
Showtime. I'll tell you that much. It ain't no
that's what I
Showtime.
don't get.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me two of the top 15 players in the association of the NBA, because Anthony Davis made second team, LeBron made third team, they can't get out the first round?
Hmm.
They're in a play-in. They win an in-season tournament.
Hmm.
When Boston wins the big tournament,
Yeah. That's got to be a kick in someone's, rear end. It really does.
right?
I mean,
Like how comical is that now? So you mean to tell me the Lakers are the first team to win the in-season tournament the same year that the Boston Celtics win number 18 to surpass them? Like
hmm
how comical is that now?
it's a joke. It's a joke if you think about it from a standpoint that, like, literally speaking,
Hmm.
you've got there were jokes about, hey, are you going to hang a banner for that preseason tournament? Well, guess what? The Celtics are actually hanging a real banner. A couple of them, actually. A couple of them. Eastern Conference and NBA Finals. So, literally
Oh no, they just
speaking,
hang finals.
yeah,
They
that's
just
right.
hang.
They don't do Eastern Conference. They just
I
put
don't
like
think
the
they do.
year. They
Yeah,
just put
yeah,
the year
yeah,
that you made it
yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
They only hang championship banners in
Oh my
Boston,
God, I'm telling you. So,
and
but
there's
yeah,
no Eastern Conference anything.
so
It's
bad.
championships.
It's so bad, dude. And,
the
I'm not even a Lakers fan, but I
the
have,
Lakers the Lakers only hang championship banners.
yeah,
The
yeah,
Bulls,
yeah. And Larry's
yeah.
sensitive because he is a big Bulls fan. I'm so sorry that they can't, get back to what they are. Larry put Kobe's flipping over in his grave. Yep. The disrespect to Magic, Kareem, Shaq, Worthy. Jerry West said F this team and chose death over watching this crap show. Wow. I mean,
Mm,
yeah, I mean, that's rough. That's true. That's Larry Frank, though. He brings it, man. So
that
shoot.
is crazy that
Yeah,
like Larry, like Jerry West is he didn't even want to watch it.
he
Like
didn't.
he
He did.
already. It's wild though. Like,
Isn't it something that Jerry West was helping the Golden State Warriors and the Clippers? Isn't that like sacrilegious or something like that? That how do you do that to that man?
dude,
How do
he
you
you know how
do
many?
that to
No,
that
no,
man?
hold on. Jerry West. He constructed what Memphis is.
Hmm.
He gave Memphis an identity, right?
Hmm.
Leaves Memphis. He goes to the Golden State Warriors.
Hmm.
Builds another dynasty.
Hmm.
The man got three dynasties under his belt.
Hmm.
When you look at it, Jerry West got a dynasty with the Showtime Lakers,
Hmm.
the Shaq and Kobe Lakers,
Hmm.
and Golden State. That's three dynasties.
Hmm. Yep.
And then he constructed what the Clippers have become and what the Grizzlies' identity has become.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean,
It's got Jerry West blueprint. Like Jerry West blueprint stretches to Miami because of Pat Riley.
yep.
Like that Laker imprint is all over the league, man.
And some could even argue that '90s Knickerbockers too. The '90s Knicks when Riley was there before he went, and Jeff
To
Van Gundy
Miami,
learned
yeah.
and so
It's
forth
got
like
an
that.
imprint. It's got the imprint. It's got a ton of imprint of that Jerry West philosophy and Laker philosophy is spread to a lot of franchises that
Mhm.
we don't really grasp it until we start seeing like people pass or we're talking about it in passing. Now you get to look at a landscape of where a single man who's known as the logo has his imprint on so many teams and makeups and dynasties. Like just to think of that, when you look at those Showtime Lakers, you look at those Kobe and Shaq Lakers, then you go to Golden State. The dude just knew how to build and what looked like his vision was just uncanny.
It's true.
Like
It's true. Well, and I'll throw this out there too, Pear. When you're looking at that, how did the Lakers go so far away from that blueprint? Larry's brought this up. Um, and when him and I have spoken off camera, like the Lakers won that bubble. They won the bubble with all that stuff going on, and a lot of people have said that, does that even count as a real championship for them? I often think, had the Heat won that, where would LeBron and Anthony Davis show be right now? I mean, they have that one to hang on to, but it really wasn't in like a legit thing where you travel to arenas. I mean, it was like who was still playing, there at the end with all the stuff going
how
on and so forth. So, yeah.
how different would that have been if it was in Miami? Like, what about that series in Miami? What about that
Hmm.
series in LA? But
Hmm.
at the time, we're not even able to travel.
Mm-mm.
We're not even able to travel.
I mean, they were testing all the time. People couldn't let anybody come into that facility at all. So, yeah.
And we go through that, and then the next season is way longer
Hmm.
because of that.
Hmm. Yeah, there wasn't much rest. There wasn't much rest between those, and a lot of injuries happened because of that too.
And
So
a lot of injuries
fractures and
happened
stuff. So,
because of that, and a lot of bad basketball was being played because of that.
hmm, yeah,
That 20 to 21 year is some bad basketball.
it really is.
Like
It really
it
is.
is like coming out of the COVID and then switching of the basketball. When they switched from was it from Spalding to Wilson? It's just been completely crazy. It
Yeah.
just to think about where we have been and where we're coming from all of that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and Carrie agrees with you. The Warrior Dynasty will be the last one for a long time. I agree with that, especially based off of the fact that Larry did say there have been six different champions the last 6 years. Jerry West built three dynasties and was the logo. Unbelievable. He was. Now to Larry's point, and I agree with this wholeheartedly, the Lakers forgot about the importance of its organization to appease LeBron, and they won't win Jack until he retires. If they waste a draft pick to get his son, they are doomed for the next 5 years. Absolutely. I mean, there is no
He needs to go back to
absolute
school.
way. Yeah, he
He
does.
needs to
I
go
mean,
back to school.
there is no way. There is absolutely no way in the world that you can draft this kid. I mean, it would be different if he was putting up the numbers that maybe a Dalton Connect or somebody like
Thank you.
that. I
Yeah.
don't give a damn is. He is not good enough to be a lottery pick. I don't care whose son he is, honestly. And realistically, Larry, again, your team is a joke when you've had four coaches in 7 years and other coaches turn you down as the Lakers. You're a joke. Absolutely. And I mean, let me just tell you this.
Hey, props to Dan Hurley.
Dan Hurley, yeah,
Props to
look,
Dan.
look,
Hey,
look,
props to Dan Hurley.
let me just ask
Props to
everybody
Dan
this.
Hurley. Props
Everybody
to
here
Dan Hurley.
Everybody here watching, anybody at home loves college basketball. My
Yes.
question is this: the hell with the money. You might win a third one in a row. Who could really stop you guys? Like
Mm-hmm.
literally, I'm not a UConn fan. I know you're not a UConn fan, but my God,
Right.
that guy's got the keys to the kingdom right now.
Does he
They've made it
not?
look easy these last
Does
couple
he
years.
not? Does
They've
he
got
not have
another
the
good group of
keys?
kids coming in. I mean, I don't give a
Man.
damn about the money. Like he has it made right now in NCAA basketball. And as far as I'm concerned, it goes through stores until somebody proves otherwise. And that goes for all the other blue bloods or anybody else that has some super team coming back this year with a lot of veterans. It goes through stores and they're the champs until somebody gets beat, until they get beat, just like how West is too, honestly. So, yeah, simple as that. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Um,
Absolutely.
I want to switch to another sport because, realistically, there is the College World Series going on. And surprisingly,
Man.
we had some
Man.
drama the other night between
Woo!
Tennessee and Florida State. And let me just tell you this,
Let's talk
it
about it.
was looking grim. It was looking like another early exit for the Vols. The bats had gone cold in Omaha and the pitching was atrocious. But let me just tell you this, I got to
And
give
they're
props
tough.
to Tony Vitello because he threw everybody out there. He said,
Clap it up.
somebody find me something. He used everybody, and it's ended up working out. On the flip side, thank God Florida State stranded 11 base runners because I'm not going to lie, if Florida State even gets one more across, it's done. It's done. And the Vols hung in there. They found a way to win. And then they looked great against the Tar Heels on
Yeah,
Sunday.
they did. They did.
And now they're going to have to face that same Florida State team who eliminated North Carolina earlier today. And
Yeah.
all they got to do is win one, and they will be in a 3-game series against another SEC team. And so far, the SEC has outclassed the ACC in this matchup of 4 versus 4 that we talked about last week. Two
I,
pair, your thoughts on the College World Series and Omaha?
First off, let me say this: Christian Moore hit for the damn cycle. That's only happened 2 times in the College World Series.
Shout out.
Like, how crazy is that? And shout out to the Blake Burke check swing. I did not think we were going to get that call. I thought he struck out,
Yeah,
but
a
the fact
lot
that
of
he got
people.
it, I was with it.
Yeah,
Oh man,
a lot of people were talking about that. And listen, it's a judgment call. The umpire saw it. The first base guy, whoever they checked off to, said he didn't go all the way. And if you look at it, and I know it's a bang bang play.
and very bang bang
Realistically,
play.
he swung, but he didn't like, he didn't do that whole motion. He stopped. He stopped. And it can go either way. But you're right, because if that's all the way, it's done. It's over with. And now you got extra life and they tied it, they went into extra innings, then they hit the
Hmm.
walk off. I mean, but realistically, that is the difference of leaving Omaha early and a chance to win this first one for Tennessee. And here's the thing, I can't remember a time where Tennessee sports has been so competitive in all the different sports throughout. Football kept you interested,
It did.
basketball
It kept you
obviously right
interested.
there to the damn Elite 8. They were
Elite Eight.
one half away from possibly getting to the Final Four, their first Final Four. Softball did their thing, just falling short of the College World Series. Baseball might be on the brink of winning their first one. So realistically, it has made it very interesting for Vol fans because realistically, this time many years ago, during those Todd Raleigh years and those Serrano years, it was like, when does football season start again? I mean, so the fact that you are in Omaha and playing at this level with a chance to be the first number one seed to win like this since 1999 Miami, since 25 years ago. There's
25
something
years
about that
ago.
25 years mark, two pair, and there's a lot of similarities between that Miami team and this Tennessee team with the hitting and the pitching and realistically, Miami had to play Florida State to win that one, and it might be that
Mhm.
Tennessee has to play the Gators, Kentucky, or Texas A&M, a rival, to win their first, which is very, very intriguing. Your thoughts?
I think Texas A&M would probably be one of the tougher matchups, but Tennessee is beating Texas A&M.
Yeah,
Tennessee's 7-2 against these teams. Like, none of these teams strike fear into me except for Florida State.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
the only, because of how how great that game was.
Shout out to Chris Smith Sr. being on there. Look at that. Merritt, the stats guy for West football, the milk cans
Like,
daddy. How about that? Carrie's right.
nice.
Hurley has the best job in college basketball. Why to give that up for people who don't have a clue about what's going on?
Exactly. Why
Preach.
give that up?
Preach,
Yeah.
Carrie.
Hey, you guys are killing it in the chat, man.
I
I'm
love it,
enjoying
man.
this,
Bring it,
man.
man. Bring that Marble City heat, baby. It's Rebels with a cause, man. I'm telling you. Remember that cause don't stop when the clock hits zero, baby. I'm telling you. I
But
feel it. Feel it. Mm.
one thing I will say, Drew Bean pitched so phenomenally. Like he was great. His stuff he was dealing Sunday against North Carolina. North Carolina, I really feel so sorry for those guys. I thought North Carolina was the best team in the ACC, even though Duke won the ACC.
Oh, that's still weird how that all
Still
happened.
weird to
Yeah.
me. And then they don't even get to Omaha.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
They're
they beat that Florida State team. They beat the Florida State team that had Tennessee on the brink the other night. It makes,
yeah.
wow. I mean,
It just
it's
doesn't make
mind boggling.
sense to me.
Yeah.
Like either Florida State is really good or they don't know how to close out games.
I think that it's both. Florida State is good. They have a young, they have a young coach
Yep,
who's
who's a
putting his
former
friends,
player,
he's a former player,
former
and
player
he's taken them to where, Mike Martin has, but Florida State was always the bridesmaid and never the bride. Of all the times they made the tournament,
all the
Mike
time.
Martin never got a College World Series title. He's kind of
And they
like the
had
Dan Marino,
teams.
where, he was really good and talented, but never got that ring to really make him exclusive. You know what I mean? Type of a
And they
thing.
had some
So,
teams too.
yeah.
Those they had some teams.
Larry showing his Miami, it's Florida State F. Hey, I'll tell you this: when we get to college football this year, two pair and me, I'm Miami, he's Florida State, but we love each other. It's that one day that
Oh,
we just kind
only
of
in
like just
football.
only in
Only in
football,
football.
only in
Only in
football. It's that
football.
one
Only
day
in
that we don't like
football.
each other. So yeah,
But but
yeah.
here's the thing. I do hold Miami with a higher respect, and I don't dislike Miami the way I hate Florida because I actually like Miami.
Yeah, no, he does. No, he
I've
has
never disliked
huge
Miami.
respect for
Oh,
2001
dude,
Miami and
yeah,
all
yeah.
that.
It's just
Sean Taylor. Yeah.
I grew up with uncles who were Florida State and Miami fans, and I'm a Tennessee Florida State fan when it comes to football. Baseball, baseball. I'm a Tennessee guy. I'm a Tennessee guy when it comes to baseball. The thing with Florida State and baseball used to let me down so much.
Well, you heard it right here. This is my brother, Larry. This is like me and
Get
Two
this
Pair. We
guy.
go back 25 years. 25 years together. So yeah,
But
it's all good. So yeah,
tell him, hey, look, okay, this is how much I like I, I am a fan of Miami. Just I'm a Florida State fan more. But look, here's what I like about Miami. Back in the day, my favorite Miami team though, when I was watching, it still got to be like Ray Lewis, Warren Sapp. The team that lost is one
oh,
of
to
my favorite
Nebraska
Miami.
94.
Oh yeah,
94 was a good
that
team. They
90.
were a good team.
Yeah,
They were.
Rohan Marley. You
Yep.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. No, for sure. ACC has no hope in baseball this year. SEC. Merritt, you brought it, brother. I'm telling you, this is what it's all about. The SEC really showed that they were the superior conference. It wasn't even close. Larry Frank goes, respect to Two Pair for the Miami respect. With that being said, FFSU. You know where you guys have something in common? You both like
Nice.
North Carolina basketball. You both are Tar Heel basketball
Yeah,
fans.
yeah.
So you
I'm
got that
Tar
in
Heel
common.
basketball.
That's where you
Yeah,
got to
all
keep
day.
it. That's where you got to keep it
I'm
real.
Tar
So,
Heel, Tennessee in basketball. Tar Heel,
yeah,
Tennessee.
for
Okay, so
sure.
Xander, I like Xander Seacrest, man. I like Xander Seacrest, Kerry. But the guy that I like the most as a pitcher, I like Nate Snead. I
Yeah.
think Nate Snead gives you so much when he comes in for relief. Oh man, Nate Snead he's been on it.
I'm going to tell you
Another.
this.
What about the catch by Hunter Inslee?
Oh my
That
God.
that might be the catch of the tournament.
I mean, because
Might
if
be
he
the catch
doesn't
of the
make that
tournament.
catch, that game is done. I mean, it's over with at
Yeah.
this point. So look at this. Look at this. So you've got this. You've got Florida State hasn't made a decision on who's going to pitch tomorrow. That's how short their pitching staff is. Exactly. And here's the
Hmm.
point. Tennessee, that top of the lineup. I'm talking about Moore,
Christian Moore,
Burke,
Burke,
Billy Amick. They have
Billy
got to
Amick.
jump on them right away. You know, I mean, they cannot not get the bats cannot go cold in Omaha tomorrow. And here's the thing:
Yeah.
do not even let it get to what would it be Thursday they would play. No, you need to finish this shit tomorrow or whatever it's play tomorrow in the it's going to be played. So yeah, yeah. Let's
Yeah.
see here. Let's see here. Merritt, I'm a Duke man. Can't do North Carolina. Yeah, the son is a lawyer grad from Duke University. He's got to be a Duke man, honestly. Two
Mhm.
pair. I'm buying you a 12 pack in October. Go Heels. I love that.
Oh
I
man.
love that this
Hey.
show is a Rebels with a Cause show, and we're talking about the college rivalries between arguably
Yes.
the four greatest teams in those
Yes.
respected sports of Duke, Carolina, and basketball,
How
Miami,
dope
Florida
is
State,
that?
and football. I love it.
Well,
So
because I
I
mean,
love
we're
it.
in the
Yeah,
dog day
we
season,
are in
so
the
what
dog days of summer,
we got
man.
hockey, we got all this stuff about baseball has been fucking phenomenal, man. Like
Hmm.
I have not. I mean, watching it, even though was it the Kentucky Florida game got canceled? It'll be at 11 a.m.
Yeah, there was a
tomorrow.
rain out. They're going to be playing really early. They're going to try to squeeze 3 games in tomorrow because the weather's been so horrible in Omaha.
Yeah,
They've had hail, they've had rain. I mean, it's a miracle
yeah,
they've gotten this many games in at this point. So,
yeah. Because it is to be that'd be game 11 because we just had
mm,
game 10. 10
yeah.
was, and I tell you though, for what it's worth, Vance Honeycutt was one of the more impressive players of this tournament. Now, I'll say our guy Christian Moore, that hitting for the cycle and not knowing it is crazy.
Oh, real quick, Maritoning, I'm joining late. Where is my shirt? I'm gonna get you a shirt. I'll get you a
Oh, we'll
Rebels
get
with
you a
a
shirt.
Cause shirt. We'll get you a shirt. So
We'll
yeah,
get you a
and
shirt. We
and
gotta
not
get
to
you one of the
mention, I'm
shirts.
hoping that you and Carrie will be a part of the panel next week. I'm gonna be sending you formal invites to talk about the greatest West teams of all time and so forth. And so I'm gonna give you all stats that I have of who played, the schedule, and you can rank them based off of that, so forth. I mean, there's going to be a lot of that talk. So yeah,
I,
yeah. Miami football in the '80s, they were the best, and that's when Larry was like really. That's what got Larry to be a fan, the '80s and so
mm,
forth. And of course, I was living down
see,
there,
yeah,
a little kid. So yeah,
that was like my uncle's favorite team, like the Irving teams with
the Blades and all that, and
Braxton and Blades
yeah,
and
yeah.
those guys. You know what I'm
Cortez
saying?
Kennedy and Russell Maryland, all those
Yeah,
guys were
Russell
Jerome
Maryland.
Brown. So yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, those were
man.
some bad teams. Those were some bad
Dude,
dudes. So.
those are some teams, man. Like,
Yeah.
God,
That's why I
those
like
Miami
when you
teams are
play
good.
"All We Do Is Win," or when that my little guy there at the football stadium plays "All We Do Is Win" when we do win in football. I love that line by Snoop when he goes, "We like the U in the '80s, back to back," and we can say that now for
The
West, like in
U and the
football,
80s.
like and it's like West now in the
West,
'20s or whatever like that.
West
So
is the
yeah,
U in the 80s.
dude, I
God,
mean,
I wish I'd
they're
have went
fun.
to West when we were winning like this, man. That'd have been cool
Oh
to win
gosh.
state in football, man.
Look at this.
Boats
Boat,
and hoes,
hose, and coke,
hoes.
the good old days, so the '80s,
Yes,
so
the
yeah.
great days,
Miami Vice,
man.
man, it was Miami Vice with
It
Philip
was
Michael Thomas and Don
Vinny
Johnson, so
Testaverde.
Vinny
Hey, you know
Testaverde,
what?
so
You know what? Had they won with the camo,
oh, legend, legendary, I mean,
had
legendary.
they, I was thinking about. I was like, if they won in that camo, because I was thinking about that because they lost when they wore camo, but they got everybody in America to start wearing camo
Mhm.
after
Oh,
that.
they were trendsetters, man. I
The
mean, they were
trendsetters.
they were they were to college football of like the Fab Five to college
Yes,
basketball, or
yes,
the
yes,
UNLV running Rebels. It was
yes,
like that. There was
yes.
swag there. It was
Swagger.
cool.
Yes.
And when you have a rapper like Tupac or Two Live Crew
Two Live
representing your
Crew.
school,
Yep.
you know what I mean, type of a thing, and wearing
Luke.
your
Uncle
colors. I
Luke.
mean, yeah. I mean, come on. So
Uncle Luke.
it's huge. It's huge. So Funny story. Kerry actually put the greatest game for me was the '88 Miami at Notre Dame, and it was Catholics versus
Versus
convicts.
the
And
convicts.
and somebody said to me, James, why don't you like Notre Dame? I mean, aren't you Catholic? And I'm like, what the hell does that have to do with anything? I'm from Miami. I mean, look, go Canes. How about that? I do that before every game. It hasn't been great as of late, but I mean, shoot, been a 25-year curse, it feels like, at Miami. But
Oh
anyway,
man, that's
so yeah,
wild.
yeah.
That's
Yeah, and then it
wild.
was the '87 Fiesta Bowl where they lost the Natty to Penn State,
Natty.
and they wore the camouflage fatigues.
Dude,
Yep,
I think
yep.
about that a
So
lot, man. Like if they against Penn State, they wear the camo, and then if they win, like it would forever be known. It just was. Vinny had one of the worst games of his life, and
six interceptions, and realistically, a lot of people said, "Why the hell did Jimmy just not hand the ball off?" And had he
yeah,
handed the ball off, they probably would have scored a touchdown and won because the yards marker was incredible between the offense and the defense. All right, I'm going to give an update. The Florida Panthers just scored. It's 4-3 Edmonton with 15:56. Maybe the Panthers can tie this and send this to overtime and win in Florida. But my goodness, they're still fighting. Four to
they
three,
are
they
still
just
fighting. I
scored.
just
They
saw that
just
goal.
scored. So yeah, but
Wow,
yeah, this has been
at
crazy. This has been
15:56,
crazy. So yeah, I mean,
there's
there's a lot of
time.
time left. And that crowd is still in it. You thought when it was, what, 4-2 or 4-1, I thought that it was done. And they're still fighting though. They are still fighting. So
Hey, people don't realize, man, it's hard to win a Stanley Cup, dude.
it is.
Like,
It is. And let me tell you this, back to the baseball, it's hard to win a college World Series if you think about it, Like it really is from a standpoint that, even if Tennessee beats Florida State tomorrow, they have got to win 2 out of 3 against teams that already know their stuff. The Gators, it could be the Gators, it could be Kentucky, it could be
but see, the
A&M,
Gators, it's
So,
not. I don't. That there's no way they lose it. If Tennessee loses to Florida
uh,
in this, do you
yeah,
know the do you know the shockwaves that would send? Because that means you can't get a national title in football now. You can't get a natty in baseball now. Like,
yeah.
dude, that'd be sick.
Yeah. Kerry's right. What a hockey game tonight. 26 shots to 20 for Florida, 15-32. It's going to be very interesting these last 15 minutes. Larry wants to talk a little wrestling, so let's get the WWE wrestling banner up and so forth. And we'll start with his comment. Uncle Howdy returned last night. That was very, very interesting. I will tell you this. I'm digging Raw. In fact, before the show, me and Two Pair were talking about that right now. We rank it Raw, then NXT, and SmackDown. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I mean, they are completely lost over there without my tribal chief. And the most boring champion ever. And then you have The Undertaker make some comments about how, oh, Cody's going to be a great heel someday, but right now he's killing it with his promos and he's doing really good things as a face champion. And I'm thinking to myself, how much did they pay you, Mark Calloway? How much? I mean, I know you love Triple H, but this is a joke of a champion. What are we talking about here? The show is Damian Priest. Is this Drew McIntyre drama? Is the CM Punk? And realistically, the Clash of the Castle was just bash at the castle. I mean, it was crap. I mean, I really just did not see the hype
Mm.
of that pay-per-view. But realistically, Raw is bringing it, and I'm just absolutely
Raw
loving
has
the.
brought it.
They are
Raw has been
bringing it,
great.
man. Yeah.
Raw has been great. NXT has been phenomenal to watch.
Yes.
Damn, I didn't say phenomenal a lot in this podcast. I
Yeah.
didn't say phenomenal too much. Now NXT has been really good to watch. It
Yes, it
has.
has. Yes, yes, it has. And
It's
and
kept my
and
interest.
it's
It's
a lot
kept my
better than
interest.
freaking SmackDown. I mean, that's a
It's
joke on Friday nights, man. I
yeah.
mean,
SmackDown isn't good right now.
it
There
stinks.
it
So
stinks. It stinks.
yeah,
Raw has been great. Raw. I like what they're doing with the storyline with McIntyre, Priest, Punk. I like where that's going. Like I see a goal that they're trying to set with that.
You want to know something? What an interesting thought right there, Larry. Last night's Raw felt like a post WrestleMania Raw. Uncle Howdy, Seth Rollins. That's right. How can we forget that? Seth Rollins
Mm-hmm.
opened the show, and right away the crowd just went fire. And to set that up between him and Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre quitting. I mean, it was all good last night. And let me just tell you this: the storyline that I have been laughing about is this Dirty Dominic and Liv Morgan thing. All I've got to say is,
Yo, yo,
Dirty Dom.
yo,
You know what? Back in the day, I used
yo.
to make this. I used to make this when a dude had like a couple chicks or whatever. I'm like, you gonna share that shit, bro? Like, what's going on here? And Dirty Dom has got three of them: his wife, his
Yeah,
mommy, and his
yeah.
side chick. I mean, what are we talking about here?
Crazy,
Dirty Dominic is doing
crazy.
more things than Rey Mysterio did with the 619. I'm telling you, man,
Mm.
he's taken all three of them to the 619. So little Rebels After Dark shout out to Troy Smith and Michael Lynn there. So I mean, my goodness. So yeah, but Dom is a pimp, and he's rocking the Eddie Guerrero mullet and the trash stash. I mean, he really is
Yeah.
embodying his poppy. He really is making the Eddie Guerrero name. Well, no,
Making Eddie proud.
he is making Eddie proud, his poppy. So oh my god, I love it. I mean, but yeah, like honestly though, that that was the Raw that should have been after
Mm.
WrestleMania. Instead, we had to see Cody Rhodes cry about, I mean, it's unbelievable. Hey, two pair. It's like, hey, you guys. I mean, it really is like that. So
Bryce
shoot,
Solomon.
shout out to Bryce Solomon. So,
Shout out to Bryce
looking
Solomon.
like Sloth from he'd be cast as the new Sloth in and if they ever did a Goonies movie, a Return to the
Dude,
Goonies or whatever like
dude,
that.
I
So
told you, man. The man, he looked like, dude, every time I tell you that, bro, he did. He looked like, reminded
he
me of,
did, and how dare he go around running his mouth talking about how all these people, including you, were his kids. Your mama would have way better more taste than that guy. I mean, are you kidding
dude,
me? Come on now. So
how
shoot.
funny was that? That he said that, and you saw what I became when I was at West.
Oh, dude, it bonded us in instantly and so forth. Yeah,
It
yeah,
did. It's how
yeah,
we became friends. That's
it
literally
was. It
how we
really
met.
was. So yeah, I like what Kerry wrote there. Dom is the new Latino Heat. I'm gonna tell you this: if he just owns it, like, and he comes out to that Latino Heat and drives one of those like lowrider cars in there, I will mark out like nobody has marked out before. Honestly, if Dom does that, honestly,
I
why
feel
not?
like they're building it up, man. Dom,
Eddie would be.
how over is Dom though?
He is. I
Dom
mean,
is
it
over.
all started with that stupid arrest that happened when he broke into his dad's house with Ray Ripley and they ruined Thanksgiving dinner or whatever, and he
Yeah.
beat the hell out of his father. I mean, like that was hilarious, and it's just has progressed from there.
Eddie
Dirty
would be
Dom.
so
So
proud,
he
Kerry.
would, and he would be proud. So yeah, I
I
mean,
love it, man. You guys in the chat are great, man.
nah,
This
man,
is
this has been one
awesome,
of my
man.
favorite shows, man. Honestly, I
This
can
has
only
been
imagine
awesome.
If Shane was here, dude, he'd be dying laughing too, bringing it as well. Like honestly, shout out to our guy Shane O'Mac. Get better, man. I hate that you're under the weather, man. I really do. So that's a shame. So, but yeah, like I mean, I just it's fun that we're having this great of a show, and it's these dog days of summer, and
Hmm.
it's hot out there, man. Stay hydrated because like I went outside and I was like, my gosh, I feel like I just walked right into a sauna or something, and I'm just drenched in sweat. It's just not very pleasant. It really is not. So yeah, I mean, but anyway, yeah. Just a little bit of an update. It's still 4-3. There's a 4-on-4 power play going on with about 12:34 left. So that's what's going on there. So yeah, but yeah, and Edmonton looks like they got a fast break, so they might put it away here. So well, Florida stopped it, so now Florida's trying to go down the rink.
So I was looking at I was uh I was looking at SmackDown, and it just You were right, man. Roman losing the championship.
The worst decision ever, ever, ever. I mean,
I
you
don't feel like it was. I don't feel like it was a bad decision, but just now seeing what it looks like without him having the belt is kind of like, did they expect for that to happen for the fan? Did
it
they
was
expect for
the
the fan to
wrong
see that?
guy. Listen, the timing was right. It was the
The
wrong
timing was
guy.
right.
It was the wrong guy. It was the wrong guy. You know,
Does it
I
make it believable? Does it not feel believable?
I
Like
I
when
I
you
I I I just feel I know that you really don't like a heel versus a heel, but realistically, somebody like the guy that lost the U.S. title, that was Walter, that's now what's his name? It escapes me. He would have been believable to do it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Somebody larger than life to do it. Maybe The Rock himself to establish that, hey, I'm still the real tribal chief. So we kind of were robbed of that, and the fans got their way. But realistically, I do wonder if the original plan had gone through and maybe The Rock is the one that does it and so forth and retires as champion or something like that. And then you have a tournament for the belt and so forth like that. That would have been my ideal if you really wanted to take the belt off of Roman and let him go film his movie in his time off or whatever. That's how I would have written it if I was one of the WWE writers. So yeah,
Kind of
100%.
knew the movie was gonna take over. Kind of knew, but I will say I am pleased with what NXT is doing.
Yeah.
I am pleased.
Yeah. Larry goes, F SmackDown, Bianca and Jade got robbed. I agree with that. Why take the belts off of them for that
My
team? I
poor
mean,
booze.
my poor booze. So and he does got a crush
Booze.
on Knoxville's own Bianca Belair. Shout out to her and Austin East Lady Roadrunner and UT Lady Vol. Track
Yeah,
star. So
man.
shout out to Miss
Legend,
Bianca Belair,
legendary.
the legend. So of Bianca Belair. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like NXT is so much the superior show compared to SmackDown. I mean, I don't even know why I even record SmackDown because until Roman comes back, I don't care. And I know he ain't going to come back at no SmackDown. He's going to come back at a pay-per-view and, basically, make his presence known. And then he'll show up at the SmackDown. So I should literally take SmackDown off my record things on my DVR. No questions
Oh
asked.
man, don't do
Because I
that.
just delete, done. Don't need to see nothing else. Delete.
Don't do that. You know, I feel like it'll get better.
It
I feel
might.
like it
It
will.
might. I
It's
mean,
just gonna take time. It's gonna take time for it to get the way it should be. You know what I'm saying?
Roman is scheduled to be back late in July. Would that be? Let me ask you this. I know Money in the Bank is in a couple of weeks, but is the SummerSlam in late July again this year, or did they put it back in August? Because growing up, man, it was
Mm,
always Royal Rumble in January. You had WrestleMania either in March or April. You had the King of the Ring in June. You had the SummerSlam in August, and Survivor Series was always Thanksgiving, when it was the big five or the big
yep,
four. And then they
yep.
added all these in your houses with the different like payback, bad blood,
Things,
backlash, all that,
backlash,
and then they
yeah.
acquired
Night of the
WCW,
Champions,
Night of the
Money in the
Champions.
Bank.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Let me tell you this. They should bring back Night of the Champions because here's the thing. How cool would it be to watch every champion on a pay per view card have to defend their belt against somebody? That was stupid to get rid of that one. Why is that not there?
I
So,
would have got
yeah.
rid of Clash at the Castle.
August 3rd. Nice. Okay.
I would have got rid of Clash at the Castle and kept Night of the Champions or Clash of the Champions.
Yeah, exactly.
I want a champion style format, right?
Hmm.
Where all the belts go on the line, like it should be. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, my sugar. Damn, thank you. Appreciate it.
Tuper, I want to ask you something, and anybody that's on the
Sure.
chat still that wants to really like bring it. What are your thoughts on the fact that WWE since WrestleMania has had three major pay-per-views in foreign countries and not here in the US? I mean, great for the other countries. I know they don't get that, but
But not pay per views.
realistically,
Not pay
not
per views.
pay-per-views. No,
Not
you
pay
could
per
always do
views.
your little European tours or but you
Yeah.
have been to Saudi Arabia, you've been
Mm-hmm.
to France, and now you were
Mm-hmm.
just in Scotland. And then before WrestleMania, you were in Australia for Ray Ripley and the no and the Elimination Chamber. So I'm
Right.
just saying that that's very interesting in itself. That
Mm.
four of your major pay-per-views this year have been in other countries. I mean, come on. Like, I mean, I could see one or two, but man, like
Yeah.
those American crowds are not getting to see the pay per views or whatever like that. I guess the first one since Mania is going to be Money in the Bank in a couple weeks, wherever that one's taking place at. I don't even know. So yeah, but so
Yeah. I don't know why when you have so much more of an interest of it over like the pops that they're getting overseas are not what they would have experienced in over here because they're popping at stuff that they shouldn't pop at.
they are. Yeah. Yeah. It's growing globally. Plus, Jey Uso entrances are literally concerts. Okay, thank you for mentioning him, Larry. Jey Uso, another stud on Raw. That's what I'm saying. You've got so much power on Raw.
A
Um,
ton of power
a
around.
ton of power on Raw, and there's nothing on SmackDown. I mean, nothing at all. And Logan Paul's touting the fact that he's been Intercontinental Champion for plus 200 days. Get the hell out of here with that, man. Get the hell out of here with that. You ain't no. And then he was even putting up the number one like you, the tribal chief. Newsflash, man. You ain't even hit. You can't even wipe his boots, Logan Paul. Come on now. So shoot. 200
Like, yeah,
days. Get the hell
you're
out of here
not
with
like
that.
you're not like a fighting champion.
You
That
ain't no Razor Ramon or Shawn Michaels,
Shawn
please. So,
Michaels.
Jey Uso needs to win the Money in the Bank. I could see it. I could see it, and
I
I would
would
love
love to
for
see
him
it.
to cash it in on Cody. That would be ginormous if he did. Honestly, I would love to see him cash that crap in on Cody Rhodes. I really would. So yeah, yeah, for sure. So yeah. Well, to give you a scoring update, it's 8:32 left, still 4-3, Edmonton over Florida. It's 28 shots to
Oh,
22.
man, I thought they scored.
Yeah, no, not quite. So
There's a lot of time left.
there is a lot of time still left. So I mean,
There
this
is a
is like an
ton of time
eternity in
left.
hockey. This is like an
Oh
eternity in
man,
hockey.
yeah.
So
This is
yeah,
like for Edmonton, it feels like it's going super super slow. For Florida, it feels like it's going super duper fast
yeah,
because
exactly.
you know what I'm saying. Edmonton, they need to win this game.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. I mean, it's do or die here, and Florida just really needs to just tie this because if Florida ties this and goes to overtime and brings new life, I mean, how defeating is that for Edmonton that they literally gave up a 4-1 lead only to see it be tied and go to overtime and so forth. And it looks like right now, and I could be wrong, the Panthers are the ones that have a little bit more energy now. I think they're going to call a penalty on the Panthers, so Edmonton's going to get a power play for the next 2 minutes. Apparently it looks like there was either hooking or high sticking that's going to be the call. So yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, but it's on Florida, so 2 minutes for Kolkov. Yeah, he slashed or what have you, so or tripping. That's what it is. It was tripping. So yeah, but so wow. That's going to be a huge call right there to see, if Edmonton can score on this power play and extend it back to 2 goals, or does Florida, get a shorthanded goal here? It's going to be pretty big. 7:32. So realistically, the Panthers will not be at full strength again until 5:32. And I do wonder at what point, if the Panthers can't score legitimately, when do they pull the goalie to see if they need to tie this thing up and so forth. So that's going to be another thing. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh man,
It's getting tight.
it is getting tight. So
It's getting real tight.
Larry, you have a good comment. I don't ever remember the NBA Finals being over the NHL playoffs. Am I tripping? No, you're not tripping because it was a terrible NBA Finals. You could lie to me and say that wasn't the NBA Finals. So, I mean, I
Man,
don't know
that
what
was
that
so
was. So,
bad.
it was terrible, man. I was
It
so
was
disappointed. So,
it
shoot.
was so it was just bad. Like I didn't think we I thought we were gonna talk about the NBA finals for at least 2 weeks.
At least to talk about the
At
fact that, hey,
least two.
look what Kyrie did. He called his shot. He went in there game 5, had the game of his life, and now they're going back to Dallas, and the pressure's now on the fact that his
I felt
boss.
like that's what we were gonna be doing.
Yeah,
I
that's
felt
what I
like
thought too. So yeah.
I said, wow, they actually want to win. They want to win. So Friday when they won, I'm like, okay, cool. They won Friday, and I'm thinking to myself, well, if they win Friday, and no, I'm sorry.
hmm if they had won
Yeah,
yesterday, so they'd play
they win
Friday.
Friday. Yeah, and then
Yeah,
they would play another Friday. I'm like, okay, wow, we would get at least 2 weeks of basketball.
yeah. I mean,
We
I
didn't even
wanted it
get
to
two
go.
weeks.
We didn't even get that. Like, I wanted it to go till the end of June. Like I mean, that's what you think, and now you've got a whole week before the draft, like you mentioned, and so forth.
Hmm.
So that's not fun. So I mean, shit. So
When you're hoping that you're really hoping that you get basketball longer. I will say the UFL wasn't bad,
no,
but
no.
you could tell the team that was overmatched in the
Oh yeah, the
championship.
Stallions were the best
Or
team,
they were
and so forth.
yeah,
So yeah.
it's
Um,
like they were just the best.
Oh, here we go. Larry Frank's joke of the day. How does an elderly woman get a smoking hot body? Cremation. Yikes.
Cremation. Wow,
Ooh.
that's funny.
Oof.
That's funny.
I do want to bring one more thing up. I don't even know if we even had it on the show last week, but we're going to talk about it. I didn't create a banner for it. I think we got to talk about it. I know Larry's pretty passionate about talking about this subject. What about the fact that the ratings that were generated between the Caitlin Clark
And
and
Angel
Angel
Reese.
Reese? I mean, it is the Magic Johnson versus Larry Bird in the female, man. It really is. It really is.
Oh
So, I
man.
mean, and then the fact that we talked about it last week, then they gave in and they added Caitlin Clark to the roster. Can you imagine? I mean, they gave in and
No,
added
no,
her.
they didn't add her to the
They
roster. They had
didn't?
her as
I
an
thought they did.
alternate. Alternate.
Oh, she's an
Alternate.
alternate. So if somebody has
Yeah.
an injury or something, okay, gotcha. So,
Yeah. So just looking at the guards, you're not putting Caitlin Clark over Chelsea Gray.
no.
You're not you're not putting her over Jewel Lloyd. Like these girls are you're not putting her over Jackie Young. You're not putting her over Sabrina Ionescu. You're
Yeah.
not. She's good, yeah. Like now we're talking 3 or 4 more years, yeah. You're putting her in that conversation. Like
hmm
Caitlin Clark is good, man, but she ain't she ain't with Asia Wilson is like Asia Wilson is
Asia Wilson's the best player right now, I
playing the
think. So,
league.
yeah.
She's the best player in the
Y-
league.
Yeah, she is. So, no questions asked. So,
League.
yeah. Yeah. Larry put that was not an intentional foul. I didn't think it was. I mean, I just thought that it was contact. Basketball's a contact sport. People don't realize that, and I mean, it's really gotten ridiculous over the years of what's a foul, what's not a foul,
Mhm.
what's a flagrant, all that stuff, and realistically, I mean, unless it's like an intentional thing, like with what happened to Rudy Tomjanovich a long time ago and so forth,
Right.
it's basketball, and it's up to the ref to designate whether it was blocking or a charge or all sorts of stuff, honestly. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
But 2:38 left. The Panthers are just trying everything they can to get that shot in there. And Skinner's holding his own. There's 2:31. And now the Panthers have pulled Bobrowski. There's an empty net. They've had 31 shots on goal to 23. So, yeah.
Yeah, they're like swinging for the fences.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they just got to get one to get in and so forth. This one was really close that they just showed. I mean, it literally just at the last second, the glove of Skinner knocked it back. But Yeah, I mean, I think the Panthers are really going to look at this game as a what if because they're going back to Edmonton, and those fans are going to be jacked come Friday night. So yeah, I really believe that. So yeah, yeah. Great show, man. Great
Great
chat
show.
tonight, man. Great show. Great
Great,
chat
great,
tonight. So shoot.
great, man.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Well, you know what, Two Pair, I'm down to keep it going through the end of this of the game if you want and so
Yeah, let's
forth.
do
So
it.
let's
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 do it.
do it. Let's see.
We're almost
We're
home.
almost there. We're almost there.
We're almost
So
home.
I do want to just say this or what have you. Had the game gone the Panthers' way, I did have my cigar. That's what I do when one
No,
of my
man. See,
teams
I told
wins
you
and
you
so
jinxed it,
forth. So
man. You should have
yeah,
never. I told you you
but you
jinxed
want to know
it.
something though, Two Pair?
You jinxed it.
I don't believe that because I had this in my pocket secretly the last two West State title games or whatever. I
Man,
snuck it in somehow. I didn't
you
smoke it at
jinxed
this.
it,
I
man. You
smoked it at the
jinxed
50-yard
it.
line at West. So, but
You
literally,
were jinxing it,
oh, I gotta
man. You
bring that, man.
jinxed
So,
it.
oh, well.
That's what happens when you jinx it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I'm excited. I mean, I'm glad that the Panthers are still kind of fighting in this. They really could have bent over when it was 4-1 because it was not looking good. But just too big of a lead if they can't tie this up. So yeah, for sure. So, but yeah. So game six would be Friday, and then Monday would be back in Florida if it goes that far and so forth. So, but there's 2:31 left. The Panthers have an empty net, and Edmonton right now is just hanging on for dear life, trying to extend this thing. So
Yeah,
Florida's
they
got to be
are.
careful
They're
here
fighting.
because Florida has got to be careful here. They really do. So because Edmonton can just take it and kind of go from there and just basically swing for the fence and get it in there. So Florida's got to be very very careful here. So
Hmm.
look at that, just the precision. Find the holes. Find the hole. It's there. It's there. You got to get it in. Come on.
I can't believe they went with an empty net though.
Yeah, this early. I mean, yeah, and you see, and then you do something like that, and that goes in. That's in. That would go in. No, it's icing. So, well, no, they're not going to say icing. They're just going to say it's still live. But Florida's going to make their attack.
They have tried everything.
They really have, and Skinner's just doing anything he can to hold on to it and so forth. Another save. I'll tell you this: if the Panthers score here, if the Panthers do score here and force overtime, I'm going to make a prediction. Um, if Edmonton wins right now. But if Florida ties this game, I guarantee you the Panthers will score in the first 2 minutes of the overtime and win their first Stanley Cup. Like that's what will happen if
Wow.
Florida scores in this minute 38 right now. I really believe that. So as I'm watching it, so just because Florida has done that magic of always winning in overtime if they get to the overtime, but
Hmm.
right now they're just doing whatever they can. So and Florida's getting good shots. I can't say that enough. It's just that Edmonton's defense, their guys are always at the right place at the right time with their sticks, with their bodies. I mean, it's not just Skinner, it's their guys are really a good defense and so forth. And they've got nothing but defenders out there for this at this point. So they're not looking to score. They're just looking to just, hang on for dear life at this point to get back to
Man,
Canada.
138 though.
Yeah,
It,
138.
it
It's a lifetime. That is a
Edmonton is fighting, boy. They
Yeah, and
trying to hold on to this lead.
that crowd is raucous. I mean, that crowd could really, literally get that goal in there. Maybe.
It'd be nice to do it here.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's gonna go in. Oh my God, they saved it! Wow, they
That was
saved
a
it. I thought
crazy
that was gonna
save.
go in, man.
That was
That
a
is
crazy
nuts.
save.
That is nuts.
That was a crazy save.
It went out of play off of who? Um, there's a minute exactly left. I just do not know
Mm,
how this did not go in, two
I
pair.
don't
I
know
do
how that
not
not
know.
go
I mean,
in.
look at that. Look at that. It hit the post. It literally hit the post. Watch this.
It did.
Look at that. I mean, it was in. I mean, it was done. It was going back to Canada. So got to win this face off. They've got to win this face off. The Panthers do, and see if they can sneak it in.
Oh, that was crazy how they hit the post. That was crazy.
1 minute left. 1 minute left. Come on, Panthers. See if you can take this to overtime. Oh,
See if
44
they can do
seconds.
it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that right there, 15 precious seconds went off, and you didn't even get a shot at it, to be honest with you. So
Mm,
look at this. Mike Tomlin got an extension. I didn't know that. I know this will be a little sad, but for the old school baseball fans, yeah, we did. Carrie, we did mention that at the beginning of the show. Probably the greatest center fielder of all time. Absolutely, we did start the show off with that tribute to him. 93 years old. God love him. So yeah,
that was wild, man.
yeah. Why would the goalie leave the box? Why would you do that? Oh my goodness. 28 seconds, 27, 26. That puck is going all the way in there. It's going in. Oh my God, he saved it. But that went in. And that's that ball game. That is the game.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah, that solved that. So,
yeah,
yeah. Well, they're going back to Edmonton. So that's going to be a tough, tough game for the Panthers. So, yeah. But look at this. I mean, I just can't believe the save here.
that was a crazy
Look at
save,
that
bro.
save. It's just nobody was there to I mean, my God, it literally was a legit save, but I guess the puck bouncing back right to the Edmonton Oiler, and he just blasted it in there. So yeah,
He
I
fell
mean,
right in the goal.
yeah, yeah, he fell right in the
That
goal, and
was
then
a,
yeah,
that was an
and
incredible save. Ugh.
yeah. I'll tell you this, man. I think Edmonton could be the team that makes I think that this game's going to go to Game 7. I have no confidence in the Panthers to win in Edmonton. I think we'll be back at Florida Monday night for a Game 7. That's going to be the series, and the pressure's going to be all on the Panthers to not be that team that blows a 3-0 lead. You know what I mean, type of a thing. So, but
Man, Connor McDavid,
yeah,
man.
he's really showing the paralysis of being a great player. So and having that. So, but shame, shame. Florida could have won their first Stanley Cup in front of their fans, and still could, but not looking good. We'll have to wait till Monday for that because Edmonton's winning Game 6 on Friday. You've heard that here
I
first
can't
on Rebels
believe
with
that
the
they
Cause. So
just they
yeah,
did that,
it's a
man.
shame, man. It's a shame. So
I thought
wasted
they had a shot.
opportunity.
I
They did.
really
Hey,
did.
hey, they can go in and win, but right now the momentum is completely with Edmonton right now,
Yes,
completely, and the Panthers have not made
the
the adjustments
it's
necessary.
completely with Edmonton
It is
right now.
completely with
Like
Edmonton. That's why I
Edmonton's
say
won two straight.
that's why I say honestly, two pair, you don't even have to watch Friday night. Edmonton's going to win. It's not a question of how much they're going to win. And Monday night we'll be back in South Florida for a Game 7 to see who is worthy to hoist Lord Stanley's Cup. So yeah,
That's a
yeah,
tough
for
way to
sure.
lose, though.
It is a
Tough
tough way.
way.
It is. So yeah. So great show though. Great show. And you know what? Here's the best part about it. Here's the best part about it. Because I can do this. Because I can do this. Hold on one second. Let me see it real quick. Send CM Punk to Edmonton as a referee. Why not?
Yeah,
So, at the end of the day, this is what I do want to say. Underneath that mantra right there, it says 5A champions for 564 days and counting. The
damn.
beasts of the East. And I'm telling you, I can't wait to see this team in action, especially of all the weapons we have. We got the Thunder and Lightning. Shout out to Messiah Ren the Lightning and Tavion Ray the Thunder for the West Rebels. Going to be toting the rock behind that great offensive line. Got some good receivers. Quarterback battle. We'll let that
Hey,
play out.
Is Mills going to be one of the guys?
He might be. He might be.
I think Mills might be one of the
He's
guys
in
at
the
wide
rotation.
receiver.
He's in the rotation
He's
for
definitely in
sure.
one
So
rotation.
I mean,
I
they are
like
so
Mills.
deep. They are so deep. And defensively, Philip Fulmer's grandson, J.P. Peace, Captain Jack Keith, Wyatt DeRoche, and then you've got
Elijah
Antoine
Gardner.
Burdine and Antarius McAllister doing their
So,
thing back there. I see you boys. I know you hungry. I know you want to eat. I know you want another one of these, baby, because we need to. Oh, and I'm going to do this real quick. Belfour. Where is my second ring? Where is my second ring, Belfour? Do I have to go down there to Lenore City and bang on that? Kerry wants his ring. Chris Smith wants his ring. The boys need their rings. I can't. I need to show these rings off, baby, because I love jewelry. That's what it's all about. Damn you, Belfour. When am I getting my ring? That's my rant. It's over. It's over.
you got that ring, damn it.
Yeah, we want that ring, man. So shoot, I'm gonna see if we can find a way to get you a ring too, man. Honestly, so
Really?
we need to
Oh
find
man.
you a stat. We need to find some role on the staff for you or something, hype man or something. I don't know, man.
Oh
But
man, can y'all get me a ring for real? Oh my god, I'll cry if I
oh,
get a
dude.
championship
Well,
ring.
I'll see if I can talk to Coach Brown about it. I'll see if I can talk to Coach. We got to win it first, though. But yeah, let's see if we can.
Oh
Let's see if we can
man.
do it.
If I
So
get
we
a
got to win it.
championship ring, man.
Oh
Oh
my
my
god,
god.
yeah. So, and you already know, man. I'll flash all three of them at the same time on the
I'm gonna
show.
tell my
Honestly,
girlfriend to
so,
kiss the ring. I'm gonna have it right there and be like, kiss the ring. She gonna be like, kiss what? Excuse me. Excuse me.
these
Kiss
trophies,
what?
baby, these
Kiss what?
trophies. So yeah,
Kiss
yeah.
what?
It's fun. Hey, listen, it's fun. It's fun while we on this run, and until somebody takes it from us, it's all about that
It's
W,
all about
baby.
that W,
It's
man.
all
It's
about the
cool to see
W.
that
So
it's 564 days since the last time West lost.
yeah. Well, actually, no, we've been
No, no,
champ.
no, no,
Yeah,
no. Since
yeah.
they've been state champs.
And we've been state champs. So we have been
So we've
5A
been
state
state champs
champs.
for over 564 days.
I mean, can you imagine? Man, we're coming up on 2 calendar years, baby. So yeah, yeah. So
Damn, that's
yep,
dope.
yep.
You think they can
But
get to 1,000?
I think they can. I think they want to. I got one even better. If you remember this, we have not lost a 5A game in the regular season since October 18th, 2019. Let that sink
Hey,
in.
send that in the group chat. And you know what? Send that in the group chat, and then send the
What, we've not lost a game
564.
since October?
Yes, put that in the group chat.
I'm gonna put that in caps. So wait a minute.
Yeah, put it in the group chat so that I'm gonna post that as a status every day this week.
We have not lost. Wait a minute. Let me see here. Let me see here. Hold on. Let me see here. We have not lost a regular season
Game,
5A
5A game.
5A
Wow.
football game 5A football game since
Mm,
October 18th. October, let's see here. October 18th,
gotta love it. Gotta love it.
2019. There it is right there, man. That's where it's at. So, yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, yeah. Here's the stats. Here's the stats. West has not lost a 5A regular season game since October 18th, 2019. We have not lost a game since we lost to Walter Nolan, the number one recruit, when he played at Powell, and that was in the semifinals. Had we beaten Powell, we would have beaten Page again, and so forth for another state title. So the winner of that Powell West game. So just to put that in perspective, that was November 25th. 2021. So we have not lost a playoff game since November 25th of 2021. We've always been in the conversation of the quarterfinals,
Wow.
semifinals, or the finals. We run 5A. This is the beasts of the East right here, of East Tennessee. Them teams in Central and West Tennessee, they fear the Rebels, baby. We are rebels with a cause. That's how it rolls. And until somebody beats us, we are the champs. That is not a prediction. That is a spoiler. Simple as that, honestly. And I will definitely do this every time with these balls behind me. And I hope there's a third one because 2014 is so lonely. Honestly, it really is. So, but anyway, yeah, that's my rant. That's my rant. So, yeah, yeah. 5 years, Larry. Honestly, 5 years, and realistically, in 2019 we came up short in the in the semifinals. In 2020 we lost in the quarterfinals. 2021 we lost in the semifinals, but we have won back to back since and so forth. So we have been in the conversation legitimately these last 5 years and only lost 6 games in the last 5 years altogether, because a couple of the teams we've lost to have been in other classifications in the state and so forth.
Hmm.
But it comes to 5A, we run this here. So, yeah, simple as that. And as you work out in this dead period, baby rebels, honestly, keep that in mind. You got to make this happen. This is your time. This is your time to do it. So make it happen. Win. Win, baby. That's it. So simple as that. So anyway, two pair, it's been a great show. I love the chat room. I love everybody bringing the heat, recorded or live. Please hit that like and subscribe button, man. Honestly, it gives us some analytics and gets the message out there. I know we post on social media, but we love you guys. We want to do everything for you, but we end every show throwing up that W. And two pair, like always, close us out, baby. Close us out.
Hey man, it's rebels with a cause, love, peace, and chicken grease. And tell them about that clock.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know,
you know what it is. Because it is Rebels with the Cause. Because the cause don't stop when the clock hits zero, baby. Go out there and be
because
great.
that clock stop don't mean it's over.
You bet. Two Parent Stallion out. Great
We
show,
out, man.
guys.
Great
Love you.
show. Thank you guys. Thank
You
you. Thank you.
bet.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.